McLaren lineup has been gradually filling up to match up with its competitors like Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Porsche. They have, since they reintroduced with the 12C, they've added the Ultimate Series, which was filled with the McLaren P1 and the P1 GTR. The Super Series, which is the middle, which had the 12C, then the 650S, and then they added the Sports Series, which is the 570 vehicles here. Now we have the 570S and the 570 GT. There's a Spider version, and the Sports Series was what was considered the entry-level McLaren, if a $200,000 car can really be considered entry-level, and it's sort of like the baby McLaren, but as we'll find out today, it's not that much of a baby. Powertrain-wise, it is using pretty much the same setup as the other McLarens in the lineup, the 3.8-liter twin-turbo V8, and this car was detuned down to 562 horsepower and 443 pound-feet of torque, which is a lot, and a lot of people have kind of speculated and tested, and based on driving it, I don't really think it's only making 560 horsepower. This thing is way too fast to be only making 562 horsepower. 0 to 60 happens in 2.7 seconds. Quarter mile, 10.7 at 133 miles an hour. Some have been tested even faster. This exact car has been GPS V-Box verified 0 to 60 in 2.72 seconds, and it's not even on the most aggressive tires. We did launch control earlier, and it is mind-blowingly fast. The baby McLaren isn't baby in terms of performance at all. It shares the same 7-speed dual-clutch transmission with the rest of the McLaren family vehicles, except in this car has been updated. It feels a lot faster, crisper, gives you better shifts. Something I really like that McLaren's offer is they have like a rocker system for your paddle shifters here, so you can pull the right for an upshift, pull the left for a downshift, or you can push forward on the right paddle for a downshift, since it rocks back and is the equivalent effect as pulling the left paddle. The way this thing drives, dynamically, handling-wise, acceleration for sure, it really is hard to believe that this is supposed to sit a level below the 12C and the 650S when it first launched, because it feels every bit as insane, visceral, and just intense as the big brother McLarens do. Something you do lose out on is the active aero and the very crazy hydraulic suspension system you find in the higher up McLarens. This is more conventional. You don't get the crazy active aero wing and air brake stuff like, so when you hit the brakes, you will still be able to see from behind you, because in a 12C and it goes up, you're like, I can't see what's behind me anymore. Handling wise, I don't really feel any detriment whatsoever. It's still, it's just as fast. It takes corners just as well, just a little body roll. You will lose out a little bit in terms of the ride refinement. It's eerie, weird how the 12C and 650S with that crazy advanced hydraulic independent suspension, how they ride. That's not to say the 570S rides poorly in comparison. It's still very, very nice compared to the other competitors right there. Styling-wise, it definitely bears the family resemblance to all the McLarens. This is a very flashy vehicle. If you're shopping in this sort of segment, you could go more subdued with different options, but in a bright orange McLaren that looks insane with butterfly doors, when you pull up somewhere, it attracts a ton of attention. It's got a very smooth and curvy look to it, falls within the family of McLaren design language. Styling actually makes it look a little bit smaller than the 12C or the 650S, but actually if you look physical dimension-wise, it's actually a little bit bigger, so it's interesting how the design makes it look that way. Interior is very nice. This is the second generation of interiors on these cars, and the material quality and the build quality I think is a huge step up. Iris, which is the infotainment, is on this latest generation and actually works now, because Iris 1 and Iris 2, the first two generations in the 12C and 650S, are quite bad. They are actually just atrocious. This works pretty well. Lots of carbon fiber, leather, Alcantara everywhere. There's really nice Bowers & Wilkins sound system, which has this little thing on the dash there is a tweeter. It's not like a microphone or something else. It looks weird. When I first got in the car, I'm like, what is that? Good sound system, spacious. It is still challenging to get into. You sit so low to the ground, small cockpit. But they did revise the tub a little bit to make the openings a little bit wider, lower. It's cutting away. That makes getting in a little bit easier. And once you get used to it, you figure it out. It's not that hard to get into these cars anymore. Space on the inside is acceptable, on par with other vehicles in the segment. It feels very open and airy. Lots of glass here. If you're really looking for an even more open interior comfort feature type of vehicle, and you're looking for a 570, get the GT. That's the more driver comfort GT-oriented car. Overall, I think the inside of the 570S is very nice. I love the spec with the orange accents, orange stitching, the perfect amount of leather and Alcantara. Something else they also changed, this is a 2017 vehicle. It has the new dash now. It's a big display. It's configured differently. It's beautiful, actually. You get a ton of information, tire temperatures, pressures, your odometers, the horizontal tachometer right now, because we are in a different powertrain mode, I think. Yep, there we go. If you go back into normal, it changes to a conventional rotary one. But overall, the technology is on par. The build quality feels very, very nice. This McLaren has done an excellent job executing the latest 570S interior. Is it worth the money? This is a $200,000 car brand new. That's what a 570 is. And the competitors you get, like R8 V10 Plus, you can look into a Porsche Turbo S. Those Germans seem more a little refined and grown up. This British crazy orange supercar is a little more flashy, over the top. It's the rear-wheel drive, more exciting, forced induction, shouty McLaren car. This is something if you don't want to slip under the radar. You don't want to pull up and nobody really notices you. You want to be like, got a McLaren. It's exciting. It's dynamic. It's tail happy sometimes if you want it to be. It's for a more outgoing person. I think it's worth every single penny in this segment, especially once they start coming down a little bit. Some of them can be had for discounts. You can buy them brand new. McLaren will give you some money off. There's some used ones out there hovering around, good values, especially in the next year or so once more of them come out. A used one of these, heck, for like 150 grand, that's a better buy than a used 12C, I think, because it is newer technology, maintenance is better, you get more of a warranty, newer everything. It's a really, really good car to pick from. If I had to rate it, I'm going to give it a 90. I really do love it. It has the looks, the sound, the styling, the way it drives. It's a complete package where this might be the perfect McLaren for the money, I think. This thing is a monster. It's called the baby McLaren, but this is not a baby by any stretch. Overall, I am extremely impressed with the 570S. I think this might be my favorite McLaren in the normal, like affordable, doable range now. I think it has overcome the 12C for me. I've spent a lot of time with different ones, driven this one when they first launched in California. I got to do a test drive of the 570S. I drove a 570S around the track. It's really hitting a nice perfect point right there. The driving feel is every bit as visceral as anything else out there. It is crazy fast, as I said earlier, the numbers. It's refined, comfortable, the interior is nice. You get, let's see, it pulls some crazy forces in the straight line and around curves, and everything about it is just, it's friendly, usable. It's a supercar that I want to own. Someday I will buy a McLaren 570S. I love it. Hope you guys like this. Comment below if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.